Lucy Lou, how are you? Oh, it rhymes.
That dastardly mute button. Damn you. I am fabulous this morning. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm so good and so emotional, like goosebumps all
I
around.
know this is it's too early for me to be doing something this emotional. I have to keep pressing my eyes. I'm like, no, not yet. It's not your turn.
Amazing. Lucy, do you want to explain to everyone who you are and what you do?
Hello. Well, I'm Lucy, and in normal life, I teach pole dancers. And since COVID, I can now quite proudly say that I am also an NLP coach, which feels a little strange because that's the first time I've actually kind of said it out loud properly.
That's amazing. So you came through the course then, like before the course, you had no coaching experience, no coaching business. And so what was it that made you think this is the course for me, this is what I need to do?
So I'm very much on Maddie's train, definitely. I've done a tiny bit of this many years ago. I mentored inner city youth. This was like 20 years ago. And I loved it, but I was living a very different life then. And ever since I've been teaching dancers, I do a lot of private one-on-one tuition. And I've said to everybody for as long as I can remember, I just wish there was a way that I could take what I give my students in a private lesson out of an exercise context and do it without the physical aspect. And it knocked round and round and round and round and round and round for years. I'm talking like maybe 5 or 6 years. This was in my head constantly. Like, how can I do this? And I looked at counselling, and that's not really my jam. I looked at some other fields of voluntary work, and they just either with the hours or the geography, or it just didn't fit. And then, like most people here, I would imagine the dreaded Rona hit, and everybody's lives went either out the window, upside down, or both of my full time jobs became completely unviable. Um, and then you appeared, just like Jen said. I was doing when Corona hit, the first lockdown, I sort of jumbled through and wasn't really sure whether I was on my head or my elbow. And then the second one, when it started to dawn on me that this was probably going to be a bit longer than a few weeks, I can't sit and do nothing. I was still sort of teaching, but not properly, and it was all online. And I could feel in the past I've suffered with depression, I've had anxiety, I've had overwhelming levels of stress, as probably all of you guys who are sitting here have as well. I'm pretty sure that people watching are experiencers of those things as well. And I just felt those little stirrings happening of that discomfort and that sort of just that internal disquiet. And it was a very strong feeling that you're going to go one or two ways. This is either going to be the best thing that's ever happened to you, or you are going to get swallowed up by the world right now. So make a decision. So instead of just scrolling mindlessly through Instagram, I started actually looking at things. And I did that thing that I'm pretty sure a lot of my other NLP coachees will understand. Every free course that was going, I took it. I'm like, yeah, I'll do it. I'll do anything. I just need to do something. And I'd done a bunch of these free courses, and I was definitely looking down the mindfulness and meditation route. I've done a lot of work on self care because I have a chronic health condition, and traditional routes of medicine have not worked well for me. So, sort of 10 years ago, I started on that road as well. And your course popped up, and I did one of these webinars that you did. I sat in on one of those, and it was the weirdest sensation. And it makes me, I get like a funny feeling under my sternum when I think about it. It was like everything just in one moment went, here we are. Here's your gift. This is what you need to do. I was like, oh, this is what I need to do. Okay, cool. And within 4 months, I was qualified and had met a family of the most supportive human beings in the world. I'm a weird hours person, so to have a Facebook group of people who were doing the work I was doing, had done the work I was doing, were about to do the work I was doing, I could I could post in there at 2 in the morning. Like, does anybody know where this script is? I can't find it anywhere. And I can guarantee you somebody would reply. And just for me, I live on my own, I'm self employed, my family are all miles away. So to have an instant family, like 24 hours a day, whether it was course related or personal, for me, that was a game changer in terms of other people's courses or offerings. That was one of the things that really sold me. But if I'm completely honest, without sounding like a total mush face, it was you that made me sign up. There was something about how normal and real you presented yourself to people made me feel like whatever my limiting beliefs were, I was capable of doing this as well. I think it was Jen who said it, like, it doesn't, I'm a confident person. People think I'm an extrovert. I'm definitely not, but that's how I appear to the world. And I think when you're confident and you're a little bit out there, sometimes you forget that you have self-doubt, and it can manifest as other things. So I think for a lot of my life, I've experienced those feelings, but I haven't recognized what they are. I've thought they were other things. Um, if you're not sure about whether this is the course for you, or is NLP the direction I want to go, what I would say to anybody like thinking about signing up, this is the most effective therapy you'll ever do in your life. And I can say that confidently because I've had therapy over and over during the course of my lifetime. Nothing has impacted my life the way this has, nothing at all. Maddie talking about values just this morning, literally half an hour before I logged in, I had a lengthy conversation with somebody about values, because he was talking about, he was on this road with this job that I thought he was going to give up, and he's like, but they've offered me management opportunities, so I'm trying to decide whether this is the universe pushing me in a certain direction, and I'm like, if you've got an hour for a call later, we can figure this out together. We'll just do your values and you'll have the answer right there. And just, it's, Jen nailed it. You have it, like, you learn this stuff, but there's this really deep, intense desire to just tell everyone you ever meet what you can do for them. And it's kind of, I feel kind of creepy sometimes. They're like, oh, you wish you didn't like chocolate? Well, I can help you with that. Would you like to take my number? I think people must think I'm an absolute nut job. If they didn't already, they definitely do now. But if you're somebody who likes to help other people, and more importantly, I think if you're a person who likes to see other people succeed, do it. Do
Yeah.
it. Sign up now. Do it. It will change your life,
Yeah.
and it will change other people's lives. That's the amazing thing.
Yeah, yeah, it is amazing, and it's amazing to have seen your journey. And I can remember everyone chatting to everyone before you did the course and what you all said. And I remember you were like, oh, I don't know, but I've spoken to my friend, and she agreed that we should just do it and we should just go for it. That we're just gonna do it.
And this is the thing I've always, when you run a business, when you live by yourself, when you run a house, I'm so used to making decisions without checking with other people. Everything stops with me. But I learn very quickly, whenever it comes to making a decision for myself, I always need external input. And that's because I don't trust myself. And that's because I don't think I'm worthy of success and great things. And that's been a huge limiting belief that I've uncovered. If you'd asked me 6 months ago, like, do you have negative self talk? Do you doubt yourself? Do you have beliefs that limit your ability? I'd have said no. Of course I don't. Do you know who you're talking to? And oh my God, the amount of deep, and I'm not talking like, oh, that's why I chew my fingernails. I'm talking deep, lifelong behaviors that you've always done and never realized were having the impact they're having on your life. When you uncover them and they seem so obvious, and the light bulb goes on, and you're like, oh my God, that's why I've always done that. This is like, my poor tiny brain is just full to, like, coming out my ears. It's insane.
It's amazing, isn't it? I always say, like, just even having the understanding of how the mind works and why the mind works the way it works is just so powerful in itself. So that's incredible, Lucy. I'm just so proud of you and what you've done and what you've experienced personally. So let's talk about the business side of things. So before you started the course, you didn't have a coaching business, and now you have. And we spoke briefly about this. I don't know what your facts and figures are, but I know you said you've got a couple of clients and you've closed some clients. So what does that actually look like? So for those who are listening who are thinking about setting up a business,
I'm sorry, I'm not laughing because it's funny. It's just I'm sort of putting the numbers and things in my head ready to speak, and I'm like, wait, is that me? Like that what now? So I've just hit my first 5 grand month, which is supposed to be like an ongoing thing. I have a follow-up call for my top package on Sunday. I have a closing call on Friday. I did a corporate job a couple of weeks ago where I went in and spoke to a customer service team for a half day about managing conflict on the phone and how they can self-care afterwards. And not only have the company asked me to go back in for 3 more half days, they now want to start a long-term relationship with me where I'll go in several times a year, speak to the company as a whole, speak to smaller groups of the company. Um, it's just like I keep looking at my business bank account and I'm just like, wait, what? Like I'll be able to my main aim for the last 15 years has been to be debt free, and I left a very abusive relationship when I was just turning 30 and moved back to my home area. And it's always seemed like an impossible thing. Like unless I borrow the money or I win something, like it's going to take me forever. It's 5 figures. It's going to be a long term thing. And touch wood, if things continue the way they do, by the end of the summer I'll be debt free, which I can't, like, oh God, did I just say that out loud? And not only am I debt free, I now have the skills and the tools to continue to earn £5,000 a month for as long as I want to. That's all on me. That's down to me making connections and getting clients. If I do that, I
that's
just paid for
amazing.
Vegas. I'm going to Vegas in February and I
Yeah.
paid for it in one go. I've never done that in my life. I've never done that in my life. And do you know what the funny thing was when they started the Facebook message, right? Let's talk about Vegas then, blah, 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 blah. They gave us all the prices. And I was typing out, let me just have a look at my finance. And I got to finance, deleted the whole thing and just went, yeah, I'm in. How much do I owe you? And within the next week, 2 of my clients had paid and I paid it in. Oh my God, I'm going to Vegas, people.
That's so amazing. So just to give the listeners a bit of context, when was it that you completed the practitioner course?
Oh, I finished it on my birthday weekend. So the last weekend in March.
So March, April, in 2 months,
Not
you've
even 2 months,
you've
like
generated
6 weeks.
five. So you've generated over 10K because it's been 2 months.
Yeah.
That's incredible, Lucy. That's so amazing. Congratulations. I'm so proud of you. Amazing. Thank you so much, Lucy, for sharing your experience.
Thank you. Thank you for
Yeah,
everything.
yeah, amazing. Thank you.